Viewers, welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. I don't remember where we left off with this 2014 Chevrolet, the Spark. It's got the big one too. We did get the job on it, which I was kind of surprised. Rarely do we actually get the fixed cars, but I called down to Chevy, brand new PCM, brand new, not a reman. Funny part is, the brand new one from General Motors is $100 cheaper than the reman one from Napa. Go figure. Quite not very expensive. I think like $300 and some dollars. I think this is what customer pay is on it. So not terrible. There it is. That's what it looks like. All right, there's numbers on it. Hopefully it's the correct one. I gave them the numbers off the back of this one. They superseded to this one, which matched. Should be in the catalog now. In good General Motors fashion, their website does not work as usual, and they have an unusually high call volume. So when you call in AC Delco, TDS, or whatever they call it now, tech support, it rarely works. So I don't know if we're going to be able to finish it here in a timely fashion. We're going to try. An unknown error, and then you get the spinny wheel of death. Wow, good job, GM. They do as good a job in their software as they do their junk vehicles. Let's, I didn't bolt much of this down yesterday. I'm gonna get all this back out of there. We can at least get that bolted in. We should be able to cut the key on and verify that our 5 volts is steady. That will be the biggest thing. Yeah, we can, I think we plugged everything in underneath. Shouldn't have a need to pick it up, but we can unplug that cam sensor and check to make sure that we have a steady 5 volts. Let's see, never really tightened anything up. I just had to get it outside was all. And then we just finger tighten those bolts. Yeah, I've been finding more and more, you know, the OEM is, you know, oftentimes cheaper than junk aftermarket. There we go. There it is. Obviously I have to reuse the bracket, so let's go get that swapped around. $25 core charge, I think, on this little guy. Sometimes I like to play a game of how long can GM tech support keep you on hold. So far my record's an hour and 32 minutes. Right now we're only 13 minutes into this one. So we like to keep them on, keep us on hold, and yeah, it's just a fun little game to play if you ever got the time. Rarely does their website work. It's my own fault for not checking it. Actually, in my defense, I did check it earlier because this morning when I got to work, I'm like, oh, we got to program a GM. Let's make sure the website works, make sure it's updated, all the software. So turn it on, let all the updates download, and then made sure TechLine Connect turned on, and it did. And I was like, wow, that's surprising. It worked. Here we are. That was this morning. I should have dragged it in this morning and did it while it was working, but oh well. Oh well. Sometimes it can be days. which sucks because, you know, you promise a customer something like, oh yeah, I'll have that done for you today, come pick it up, and here we sit, our job's done, but no software, you know, can't do anything because we're at their mercy. At the mercy of the General Motors. General Mess is more like it. One little Christmas tree fastener down here. Come on, baby. There she goes. Never know, like I say, if he's showing this thing. That's the difference between a first and a 7th place trophy. Speaking of trophies, what's up?
You're a trophy.
Your trophy. Oh, hey,
Ding dong.
Daisy Doko. Hello? Hello?
This is Vanessa from GM Tech Line. Can I have your first and last name? Thank you for holding. Your advisor is working to help you and will be back in just a moment. Thank you for holding. Your advisor is working to help you and will be back in just a moment. Your advisor is working to help you and will be back in just a moment. Thank you. Thanks for holding. Eric, what can I help you with today?
Do you know when the Tech Line Connect will be back up and working?
We do not have an ETA as of yet because it's affecting us as well.
Okay.
But there's no ETA yet. I can give you a call once we get a notification that it's back up. I can give you a call back.
Yeah, sure. I'll check back periodically, but yeah, if you want to give me a call, that'd be great.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's not bad. Only 21 minutes. Wow. And you get the typical answer is, yeah, it's broke. No, we don't know when it'll be fixed. You guys think I'm always talking about GM, but this is daily, man. This is this is daily. You guys might love them, but it is a train wreck of a company. Anyhow, I can't really bitch about it too much. They have made me a pretty good living. So, shouldn't complain, but I just want to give you guys a little bit of an example of what daily stuff looks like working on GM, because right here we are. We're pretty well screwed at this point. The car's completely inoperable. Of course it was when it came in, but we just can't continue doing our work because, like I say, we're at their mercy. This is the problem with all this here newfangled electronic stuff and these computer boxes. You got to have their software. I've got no way to clone them or anything like that. So let's hook our negative up. Let's make sure that we've corrected the issue. And if we have, huzzah. If we haven't, oh crap. Probably gonna have, whoop, sorry dude. Probably gonna have, but yeah, control module not programmed. So 602 is the only code that we have in it currently, because the computer is blank, or just has some base software on it of some sort. We'll go to data stream. We're gonna go to ignition data. We wanna look at our 5-volt references. We want to see what they say. They are all A-OK. So 5 volts, circuit status good, 5 volts. Everybody's good and steady, so no need to really unplug everything. We've fixed it, kind of. We fixed it as much as we can. So that's it. That's all we can do. I'm gonna unhook the battery and get the lawnmower and drag it back outside, and someday when GM's back up and running, we'll get her fixed. We were so close and then got halfway through and have an unexpected error. Imagine that. Fingers crossed, third time's a charm. We'll just wait for the little blue line across the screen. 0 seconds remaining. We're in the home stretch, folks. Now we're waiting the customary 12 minutes. Usually it's 10. They start out at 12. You have to do some key cycles. It's the immobilizer learn that you have to do after programming the PCM. And the reason that I know about that stuff, well, I'll show you, we've always mentioned this in other, General Motors videos. And that's using service data. And with General Motors, you go to control module references. So you always search out control module references. And this is a really handy section in service data, whether you're using Mitchell or All Data or Identifix or whatever. It'll break it down. So we're doing the K20 module, the engine controller. And then this here gives you the scan tool information. If you're like, well, what's this data PID supposed to read? You get your wire diagrams, how to replace the control module, and then more importantly, how to do replacement and setup. So it states here, pretty standard GM stuff. They wanted us to inhale some of the data off from the old one. I just skipped that spot, but it's because I didn't read it before we started. At any rate, you go through, you do the programming. After it's complete, you do the immobilizer. After immobilizer, we go back in and do the configuration and setup. And then after that, clear the codes and move on with life. And even if it's a job you've done, a million times, it's always a good idea just to, take a look at it. I did know that it, prior to get going, that it said that it wanted to pull some information off from the old computer prior to removing it. But it's just stuff we can change anyway. It's probably like, when the timing belt's due, or, the codes that come up on the screen and oil life monitor, stuff like that. But it's really neither here nor there. We just start fresh, put that one in. So as soon as that is done learning the key, then we'll move on. And that's it. Dumb video. Moment of truth. It says, make sure it starts with each key. Of course, we only have one key, so if the guy has more keys, we're gonna have to program them separate. But oh, look at that! See, this runs like a little champ. Of course, we're gonna have an engine light on. We're not done yet, but oh, baby, Chevy Thunder. Alright, let me finish this up. So we're back in the engine controller. We already did the programming. We did the skip the prep for removal, and then we're going configuration and setup. So first programming, and then we did, well, let me scroll down here for you because it's giving us all the boring stuff. And then we did the immobilizer learn there that you can see. And then there was options to select out of there, whether you were learning it from changing to PCM or the PCM and the BCM. Yada, yada, yada. Most of this is just found on-screen instructions. Ours is the 1.2 liter LL0. And then we wait. We were so close. So close to getting it all done. The first time going to do the finish the configurations and Techline Connect crashed. So we're just gonna log in with a scan tool, finish with that. It's just gonna be like crank relearn, brake pedal position, clutch switch, you know, if it had a clutch. Just a couple of relearns. So I'm just gonna do that with scan tool. To do the crank relearn, you have to have the vehicle warmed up anyway. So I've got it over here running. And once that gets fully warmed up, we'll give her the old rev up, tune up. It's probably gonna have that code in it for the crank relearn not being done is going to be my assumption. So we'll see here in just a second. I don't remember what the code is, a 5 something, 532 maybe, something like that. The code 82 that was on the dash is simply because the oil life monitor wasn't reset here. So I just turned the key on, pedaled the gas pedal 3 times, that code 82 went away. And let's see here, we're gonna go to read fault code, and it's gonna have something for crank learn not being performed, I think. Okay, yeah, crank position system variation not learned, 315. Mobilizer, key not programmed, a bunch of, you know, old codes, because I never went through and cleared everything. So we had the 630 for, you know, no bin mismatch, and then the mobilizer problems. But the only current code is that 315. So as soon as it warms up, we should be able to go in here. I think special functions, learn functions. So we have our brake pedal learn, we should do that. Idle learn, heated O2 learn, but we're gonna do the crank variation learn. I don't remember what the temperature is, but I think it's gotta be almost fully warmed up. It'll tell us. Let's see, yeah, so engine coolant temp out of range, brake pedal must be applied, and when these conditions are met, it's at 54 degrees Canadian right now, probably around 70 or so. So we'll let her warm up and then we'll do that. Accelerate to wide open throttle. Yes, sir. There it is. Oh, look at that. The money light turned off. Huzzah! Means we did a good job. I think we're good. Alright. Let's go see what 1200 cc's in Chevy Thunder feels like. Oh, raspy. Raspy. Baby, yeah. Hang on, boys. Got her to the floor. Oh, yeah. She's quick. All right, here we go. Hang on. Just turn something on. There we go. Oh, boy. Be a CVT transmission. It's all sheer hole, fellas. See, a quick one. Probably gets fantastic fuel mileage. $94,630. Remember that. That's all we need to know. And no codes. Everything seemed good. It seems like the transmission's about ready to leave the chat, though. You know when you drive a Nissan and they're making that really loud, squealy, whiny noise as soon as the transmission warms up a little bit? That's what this one sounds like. So we just did one little trip around the block. We're going to park it because you don't want to be the guy driving it when the transmission craps out. You want to make sure you give it back to the customer and it happens to them. Because otherwise, it's ever since you. Not my problem, dude. We're going to plug the progressive thing back in here so Big Brother can keep an eye on them. What pins are they using? 4, 5, 16, 6, and 14. Big brother's getting your data, old son. Yep, she's powered up and just getting everything that's on the can. Interesting. Probably wants to know your vehicle speed more than anything. Whatnot. And I guess that's it. There's nothing more to say. Why'd the original one fail? I don't know. Who knows? You know, like I say, unless customers come clean with you, you don't really know, you know, what happened, you know, or what was the series of events that led up to where we are today. I don't know. I do know that the, like I say, the 5-volt circuit in the PCM is pretty resilient. You know, I mean, it's not uncommon to see a 5-volt reference or a 5-volt supply completely dead short of the ground, whether it's, you know, from a wiring issue or whether it's from, you know, a failed sensor. I've seen it both ways, you know. I think we mentioned earlier about the Chryslers, you know, super common on those for crank sensors that short out. Drops out the entire data network when that happens, turns into a no-com situation. You know, and I think, you know, like I say, not being an electronics guy, I don't know a lot about it or how the 5-volt regulators in the PCM work, but I do know if they didn't have some sort of, you know, protection, we'll call it, then they wouldn't ever survive in the automotive world, because let's be honest, you know, short circuits are common, whether it's from a, you know, a physical layer fault, you know, wire rubbing through, touching something, or if it's from a component failure. You know, a sensor just shorting out internally. You know, if every time that happened, it burned up the box, you know, you'd have to have 50 of these things in stock and you'd be changing them all day, you know. Anybody who's followed us knows that we do a lot of, you know, a lot of wiring repair, a lot of corroded connectors and wire harnesses that have rubbed through and short circuits, and rarely does it take out a piece of electronics with it. You know, again, I don't know the why or the how, but I just know the what. That's what we see. So you say what in that comment section. Insta, Facebook, all that stuff. We gotta bring in the next one. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.